They're laughing at you.
Boo! You suck.
I rolled a 10.
Yeah,
There
there
you
you
We were
go.
starting with Dave anyway.
It's destiny.
Trust to die, bro. That's trust to
Destiny.
die.
But
In
Patrick
we trust.
Mahomes, what was he this past season? Supposedly he wasn't Patrick Mahomes. That's pretty much what I'm
He wasn't.
remembering. Oh no, what's happening here? Are you freezing up there, computer?
Oh no. Yeah, he wasn't the guy that we, drafted first overall going into
Yeah, what is
the
going
initial
on there?
draft.
Yeah,
I
this
think Dave
is
had the
just
first
not
pick.
wanting to cooperate with me right
A
now.
lot of touchdowns did not come from his legs this year, which devalued him significantly.
Mm-hmm. Plus the fact that he had a bunch of wide receiver threes as his.
Oh no, there's no doubt. But what I'm saying is like the significant drop in rushing touchdowns for him hurt him
Yeah.
fantasy wise because that's 6 points per touch, like literally each time he
Yeah.
walks into the end zone.
Yeah, you're dropping like what, 10 touchdowns? You're talking
Mhm.
like 60 points. That's a big difference.
I am not sure what is going on with nothing just wants to cooperate with me today. Now I can't even bring up his like I click on Mahomes and it's just like, nope, screw you.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's like
kind of giving me there's nothing.
Oh well, here, I'm gonna go on my phone, make this easy. Cause yeah, my bad.
It's all good.
We can at least just look at cause I don't understand why it's being like that.
You can hold on.
My computer is a shite today. Dave's team, Patrick Mahomes. So what were you guys saying? I kind of like blurred you out a little bit trying to focus. I apologize.
No, Dan was saying how his lack of rushing touchdowns kind of affected his overall performance last year.
Yeah.
Because Dave had the first pick last year, right?
He had no rushing touchdowns in the regular season.
He didn't.
None. I'm looking at that right now, and it's showing he has none here. In the playoffs, he had none.
Yeah, it really devalued him for where he was the year before.
Yeah, which was number 2, 3 at worst. I would guess.
You know what? I will say though, I'm looking at the previous years. He had 4.
Oh, he was number 1
in 2022. He only had 2 in the regular season in 2021. And he only had 2 in the regular season in 2020. So I don't know if like the actual rushing touchdowns. I mean, those are nice. The fact that he got 0 doesn't help him at all. But
yeah,
I think before he was just throwing. He was having these 5 touchdown games, 4 3 touchdown games consistently. And then you get to last year and he's throwing maybe 2 touchdowns here and there. Like he only had 1 game where he's had actually 4 touchdowns. And he only threw 3, I think, once as well. So looking at that, I think it's where his value actually kind of. Plus he threw a pick in almost every game, but what, 3 or 4? So I think it's just more just like the entire offense not being, utilized properly until the playoffs.
dude, Mahomes does not want to come up on this. I clicked on Josh Downs and he shows up. Let's see if Barkley shows up. Barkley shows up just fine. Okay, so it doesn't like Patrick Mahomes, apparently.
Nah, nobody does.
All right, so
nobody likes.
Good news. Oh, so here, Barkley. Barkley's another good topic here. So, actually, before we talk about Barkley, I kind of actually don't really have too much to say about Mahomes either. It just seems like the rushing that does subtract a little bit, but how much that bumps him up, like you were saying, Brown, probably not much. but it doesn't help him getting a 0 either. And the performance of the team, I felt, was just a kind of contributing factor. He had no receivers. Those receivers couldn't catch nothing. Even Kelsey was hit. There was quite a few games where he wasn't himself and he was making drops he never makes.
Yeah.
So I figure a lot of that contributed to that as well. And even then, he was still number 8 in our league PPR, standard PPR.
Yeah, because I guess they were just trying to depend on him to take the game over. And when they finally started like running the football in the playoffs, that's when the offense was at its most dangerous, because that game it took the pressure off of him, and then he can just go back and do play action, and you're always looking for the run at that point, and
He
he's
doesn't
able
need to make as many plays.
exactly. He
And
doesn't have
yeah,
to
it did
take-
work. Good defense, a good running game.
Yeah, that's how you win. That's how you win games in the playoffs, especially.
Oh, yeah, and you definitely. It's a solid way to go, especially since Chris Jones was doing really well for them.
You know, I just realized, thinking about it, like point wise,
Mm-hmm.
I guess every rushing touchdown would be double. So that would be equivalent to 8 touchdown passes in 2022. And not having 8 like additional touchdown pass points in 2023 does kind of hurt.
Yeah,
That's
anytime a
actually
quarterback can get
significant.
a few extra rushing touchdowns, their stats are definitely gonna go up a bit.
I mean,
I'm,
he didn't
I'm just
necessarily have
curious on. I'm curious on who's with the most rushing touchdowns.
yeah, like Mahomes
What,
didn't
at
have
a
a bad year.
quarterback? Most rushing touchdowns for a quarterback?
Not all time.
Well, no, I'm just saying, what are you talking about last year?
Yeah.
I would assume Lamar would have to be up there. Who else? Jalen Hurts. Probably Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
It has to be
and
Hurts.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, Hurts, Allen. Hurts, he had so many of those push touchdowns.
Wow, Lamar only had 5.
Yeah, that's actually not that much.
Yeah, he threw the ball a lot better though.
He
So he was
did.
still up there.
That's
just
true.
He was becoming more of an actual quarterback than just like a dual threat.
They were a more solid offense. That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he got, and I mean even like guys like Stroud did really well in his rookie year.
What was CJ
Like,
Stroud?
I think
Speaking
CJ
of
Stroud is
actually.
probably the future.
Ooh, I like that little
Yeah.
search bar there.
Dak had a really good year. Jordan Love had a
DJ
really
was
good
number
year.
11 in our scoring format. He was number 11, which for a rookie quarterback, not bad. And as far as I recall, he did not have that many rushing. What do you have? 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay, so that's not even. You probably add 1 or 2 more, he probably breaks the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, he rushes for 2 more. He's tied for top 5. Interesting. Desmond Ritter is top 10.
Wait, Ritter, what?
Desmond Ritter's in the top like 5-ish tier.
What
from
do you
last
mean?
year. He
Rushing?
had 5 rushing touchdowns. Yeah.
Yeah. Ritter,
Josh
I don't know.
Dobbs at number 3, baby, with 6.
Brownie actually made a trade for Ritter.
Yeah,
He got
me and
him from his brother for what?
we just swapped 3rd and 4th round picks. He moved up in like the 2025, 2026.
2026, real late,
Future.
real late.
Yeah, like it was just something where he just
He
wanted
was
to
just
get
throwing
something
them
for him.
away. Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? He's still backing up Kyler, and he's in a better system now, I believe. So
Yeah, he was
I'd
trying
rather
to oversell me a little bit. Like he was trying to bump up a few spots in the second round. I'm like, whoa. I'm like it's Desmond Ritter.
go
It's
for
not
it.
that serious.
Go for it. Nah.
He
like,
just
like
I
Desmond
just
Ritter, the starter maybe, but
Yeah, Desmond Ritter, the
this guy's a
starter,
backup
yes.
now.
Yeah, I think he was trying to bump up. I think, let me take a look here, because he has a few second round picks, and he was trying to trade Ritter in one of his seconds. Yeah, I think he was trying to trade the 302. That's what he was doing. Ritter in the 302 and trying to get like my 211 or two, something like that. And even then, I was like, nah, it's not worth it. Ritter's not worth that much to me.
Yeah, like I thought it was not that much risk. You're just losing.
Oh,
What
for you, you barely
a
gave
few
away
rounds.
anything.
Yeah, like I got a few picks down. And
Yeah.
I had what Jaron Hall, who I thought was gonna maybe sneak in and be somebody last year, and didn't work out. And now he's down to like the third string quarterback again. So I
And
dumped him to
honestly,
get
you
rid of.
could turn Ritter around if anything, if Kyler does get hurt, which I probably won't make a play for him if he does, because I figure if he does get hurt, I'm probably just gonna say fuck it, and yeah, just take the hit. But if Kyler does get injured, and you're able to move Ritter for like even just a third in that current season, you know,
It's
or a
possible,
second,
but at the same time, I kind of want to see what he does too. Like
yeah,
the
but
system, the system kind of failed a lot of people on that Atlanta offense last year with Arthur Smith. Like he
yeah,
wasn't meant to be running that offense or anything like that. So I just think, especially with the weapons he has or had in Atlanta, I felt like he should have done a little bit better. So like
that's
he might
where.
just end up being a backup in the league, but he still has like the running threat. Like I said, he was what top five in rushing touchdowns. So he can get you some points
He got wheels. He got wheels.
if he's playing. So
You got any comment on him, Dan? You a Ritter fan?
Um, I was a college Ritter fan, I guess,
College
but
Ritter
not
fan.
much after that. I don't think he's going to be a starter in the NFL. I don't even think he's really worth a backup in the NFL.
I think he'll be a solid backup. I think that's where he sits.
I don't think he's a number two.
But yeah, you really didn't give up anything for him, so it's not. You really can't lose that situation. You can only
Yeah.
win. Honestly, I feel like you
Oh,
can only
yeah, you can
win in
only
this.
win, yeah.
So that's
exactly.
it's a good move. It's a good move.
Oh, I'm just talking about where I would roster him right now.
Like if anything, he's what is it? It's his third year, right? Going into, so you can't put him on your taxi squad. So like
Nah.
either you're just kind of keeping him on your bench or you're dropping him. So
Yeah, and if you don't see much from him, you can like throughout half the season, you drop him. You probably nothing happens to him. Because I
yeah,
mean,
I
there's
mean
how last year there were backups were coming out of
exactly
waivers like
like
crazy, and
half
now
the
there's how many
league.
back in the pool? Because we're gonna have to
Yeah,
drop players for the draft, so there's gonna be a lot more players in waivers.
uh, yeah. Like think about it. Last year we had
A lot. There was dude for who the Stash. He's on Vegas now. Minshew.
The stash.
Yeah, the Stash. He's in Vegas now. Dude, there was a lot of
He's not
injuries
a little
last
ass boy
year.
of the
now.
season.
There was a lot of injuries. And it's really sad that I don't remember hardly any of them.
I mean, you had Joe Burrow. You had I can remember like you had
Yeah,
Austin Swear,
Burrow. You have
Kenny.
Kenny. Yeah.
Yeah, you had I mean, yeah. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to think. I mean, you had guys like as far as like fully out.
I did
There
have
wasn't
Burrow,
that
duh.
many, but uh, I mean, you had Richardson for Indianapolis go down early in the season. They had
Yeah, that's
Minshew
what Minshew. That's
replace
what
him.
yeah.
Which I mentioned, yeah. So like you never know. Like it's nice to have a guy who can be, you know, a at least a dual threat quarterback. Like especially in a system like like Arizona or what they have going on. Even like with Pittsburgh now, they have Justin Fields as the backup, but I mean, like
He'll
how
never
long is
see
it
waivers
gonna
though.
take? Yeah, how long is it gonna take for him to? Yeah, that's his thing on I think somebody's bench. I think Zach has him.
Zach does, yeah. You hold on to Fields though. That's a
Yeah,
definite.
and I think he sees the field, and maybe even earlier than expected in this year. So
Yeah, we had a little discussion about that before, and I think he will too. I just don't know if they're smart and Russ doesn't completely suck. Like if because I mean we were winning games with Kenny Pickett barely doing anything, and
mhm.
as long as Wilson can do better than what Pickett was, I can't really see them wanting to just jeopardize that.
I mean, I think we're an 11-win team if Wilson's the same player he was last year. Because that dude still threw for like what
Yeah,
26
I could
touchdowns.
see that.
He didn't throw that many picks. Like he was a very just
He was pretty
respectable
efficient. Like, and I know
quarterback.
Sutton
Yeah.
was making Sutton made a lot of crazy catches but Wilson was still placing it in a spot where Sutton can go and make a play.
Well, you have that in Pickens, and honestly, I think Pickens
That's what,
is
yeah.
a way better catcher than Sutton is. I mean, Sutton's got the hands. I think you gotta. Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. Did you see
He
some of
has
those
some.
Did you see some of those catches he made?
He
That
made
w-
some catches,
Woo.
but I think Pickens was being younger and having more of a ceiling there. Like I think he's gonna be already a threat now that he has a quarterback that can throw bombs to him. So
It's definitely something. It's gonna be it.
I mean,
You the the best outcome, the outcome we of course all three of us want, being Steeler fans, is them going out there running it down their throats and then using the play action, and Russ just bombing it downfield to George Pickens and whoever we else have at the number 2, throw some Fryermuth in there, and the offense is rolling. But
yeah,
we'll see, because
it's
I
good.
mean,
I can see it being like how he had it in Tennessee with Derrick Henry, just running the ball, play action.
that's what, and they were really good. That's
They
Arthur
were really
Smith as
good
the
whenever he
offensive
was
coordinator.
calling. Yeah, he
Yeah,
can't do both.
and that
And I feel like that's why he's the perfect OC for us.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
yeah, because that those Tennessee teams, they were like what 13-win teams. They
Yeah,
were
they were
first in the
consistently
AFC.
double-digit win teams,
Yeah,
and they
so
were winning their division,
Yep.
I
and that's
think
what I want.
we're easily like if we have our stuff together, we're easily like an 11-win team with what we have.
I mean,
We're
AJ, they
like
had
Swiss cheese right now, but there's a lot of holes in a lot of places.
Yeah, as long as the defense is still like what they were last year, but I know that we have a very
they
right
were
now
banged up quite
deep
a bit last year.
defensive
Our middle
backbone.
linebacker core was banged up. Plus, they
So
weren't even
bad.
that good to. Plus, they weren't even that good to begin with.
Minko was down quite a bit, quite a few games. I
Yeah,
mean, if you lose Minka, they really don't have any other safety. And then, I mean, they had Patrick Peterson, but he's older. He what?
They let
He's
him
not
go
this.
now.
Yeah, they let him go, and he didn't completely suck, but he wasn't really making much of a difference either.
I
No.
mean there were
So
reports of them having interest in bringing him back actually, but
yeah, like
we'll see.
bringing him back and having him be in a lesser role, I'm perfectly fine. But he got he got thrust into a bigger role than I think they actually wanted to use him
I
for.
honestly think
Exactly.
I think they bring him back because he was such a good mentor role,
Yes.
especially for a guy like Joey Porter,
Yeah.
and like having him like break out and be our guy now.
And
So
Joey did good.
he did fantastic. Like you should see his stats. I mean, they eased him in a little bit, but he was taking on some of the top guys at that point, and they weren't like completely like doing a whole lot against them. Like I remember DJ Metcalf, I think had like what 3 catches against us in Seattle, and Porter was on him the entire time.
He doesn't shy away from a battle, that's for sure. But you kind of expect that with his pops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that is?
Pop. He's a bad man.
Yeah, he is. That's why I'm kind of. Go ahead, Dan.
I was gonna say, I just feel like they're just so iffy at middle linebacker, D tackle, center,
Well, we
and
got
corner.
Patrick, dude, Patrick Queen.
Yeah, Patrick Quinn.
Yeah, but I really wasn't sold on Cole Holcomb either. I feel like
Well,
Quan
Cole,
Alexander's
he'd be the
probably.
second now, I think.
Yeah, I feel like that might go to Quan Alexander through halfway through the season.
Yeah, I'm not as much. I'm not super concerned about, at least not now, since the Queen signing, as much
They
as
they
like a
had to they
second,
had to sign
another
Queen.
safety or like another DB. Like that's where I feel like they really need to. And then they need to at some point you have to address the fact that Hayward's not going to be there for that much longer, and you have to try to get somebody to eventually fill that spot as well, because
They should have
that'll be major.
they should have, like I said, instead of rushing drafting a quarterback, I wanted them to draft Jordan Davis instead of Kenny Pickett and trade up for him.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, that was it. Like I didn't hate. That's one of the picks. Like I didn't hate them drafting Kenny Pickett, but I didn't necessarily feel like that was the best option.
Mm-mm.
You know?
No, they needed a center at the time too,
Oh, they needed quite a bit of. Yeah, they needed quite a bit.
but they need somebody that can get the ball off the ground to Russell Wilson this year at least. Yeah, there's a lot of holes that they have in key areas.
I mean, I trust him more though. I
Hmm?
think he has a plan there, either through the
Yeah,
draft or through like there's still a lot of time left for free agency and everything too. So
and
there's still
depth becomes an issue. They're a solid, like you said, 10-11 win team. They might get a playoff win this year, but I don't think they're much more than that.
Hey, if the Steelers could win at least one playoff game, that'd be more than we've gotten in a long time.
I'm for it.
I'm
It's a
it.
trend in the right direction,
It's
but it's
honestly.
not.
Go ahead.
But we're not like AFC Championship, Super Bowl caliber, like a lot of people are pushing for.
Yeah, I mean that's a little high hopes. Maybe if we had Russ from like back like 5 year ago, Russ, 6 years ago, Russ, I'd say yeah, we'd probably have a good shot. But I'm not gonna get too
Yeah,
excited, especially since we really don't even have a true number two right now. Like Pickens, and who's to even say what Pickens is? Is Pickens, because was Deontay the number one or was Pickens the number one?
I mean,
And
as
towards the end
far
of the
as like
season, I think Pickens did become the number one, but we've seen how that goes because I mean we just had Juju not too long ago, and we seen how that turned out.
like the volume and the targets and everything, Deontay definitely was the number one, but Pickens is the overall like better receiver in my opinion. As
Deontay's
far
still a
as
top. Yeah, oh yeah,
Deontay was
Deontay is a
making
top
those,
five in
yeah,
separation easily.
yeah, Deontay was making those shorter, more volume catches. Pickens is like the deep threat and the guy that goes out and gets you the jump ball and everything. Which
Deontay's
I,
hands are average too, which was upsetting.
yeah,
If he had any kind of hands, he would be a top five, top 10 receiver.
He did he did shore up his hands though. It's not like he was still
No, he became
like
more reliable.
yeah, he wasn't nearly as bad as he was like what 2 years ago when
No,
it was clear that he was just he was dropping passes he should not be dropping.
for sure.
But I guess we'll
But
see how Pickens can do, and if the Steelers go and draft a guy a good number two, or if they, because I don't even think there is anybody out in free agency right now that they would sign that you'd think would
make
be
him
the
like a
number
number
two.
two. I
Yeah,
mean, the only guy I can think of still is Tyler Boyd, but I don't know if
but is
he's
Boyd a number two though?
a true. Yeah, like is he gonna be the guy that? Because is he gonna be better than, Van Jefferson or?
That's what. Yeah, it's
Or even like Calvin Austin. Like I can see Calvin Austin at least becoming like the slot guy or
I really just I don't. It's a lot of speculation with that wide receiver room right now, and until they shore that up, and yeah, figure out somebody on the other side of Joey Porter Jr. Like Dan said, I don't think they're going to be winning more than one playoff game. But at the same time, I'm sure a lot of Steeler fans will take a playoff win at this point.
yeah. I mean, yeah. And I think they're gonna go to the draft a lot of what they need, like a receiver or center.
They need a center so bad.
So bad.
It's awful.
I think they really need to go center first. There's a lot of good receivers. They could easily go receiver second, third, and still get a good one.
Or they could just try to address it still in free agency.
That's the thing. I don't really know who would be left and would be
Well,
worthy of a number. Like worthy of a number 2.
you still got Michael Gallup. You still got DJ Sharks out there.
No, no way. Don't no, thank you.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
thank you.
I
I'd
don't
rather
think
have Gallup, I think, than DJ Shark.
yeah, for sure. But like I'm saying, for depth, those are probably your top 3. Michael Thomas is out there, but I really don't want
No,
to pay
yeah.
for his caliber at all.
And he just
Uh,
he had
Actually,
I
a
don't
sneaky one would be Russell Gage. That would not be a bad signing.
I don't
I
hate
don't
that
think they're
one.
gonna. I just don't think they're gonna go unless they do sign Boyd. Which at this point, I feel like they would have probably done it by now.
I
I
think so
think
too.
they end up drafting somebody just in the second or third round.
I do kind of like the Russell Gage thing though, because he wasn't bad. I had him in fantasy, I think in redraft or something like that. So I was paying attention to him,
Yeah,
and
he's
when
not
he'd
bad at
get on the
all.
field, he'd do all right.
Tell you what, there's somebody that is there that could be your number 2 still. Odell Beckham Jr.
I don't want him just because of what he wants and because how injury prone he is.
That's true. Yeah, plus you got Michael Thomas, who's
Yeah,
kind of a baby.
I,
Although he has the same
same
pedigree.
problem. And they're
Yeah.
both the same age,
Or did they
which is
set up?
crazy.
All right, so let's take a look at some receivers here that could actually. Well, you might as well just chop off at least half of these guys right here. Okay, so I think this was one I was hearing. These are a few names I was hearing that the Steelers would actually be looking at: Roman Wilson, Xavier Legette, Polk. I think I heard McMillan's name in there. I think those guys. I think that those guys could work. Probably second, third round. They'd probably still be there. Because
I would
you
think so.
figure what? The top 2, 4, 6, Troy Franklin, 7, McConkey, probably he could maybe, he'd probably be early. I'd probably say second.
Yeah, I think the top 10 guys are gonna be gone in the first probably like 40 picks because I think it's just that deep of a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't see
group
McConkey
there.
going too far past. I don't think he would reach past the middle of the second. I think he goes early second at least.
Mm.
Coleman, I don't trust. I don't know if you guys know anything about Coleman, but I don't hear good things about his hands. And from what I've seen, yeah.
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 Although if he drops a little bit, like I could see us taking a shot at him. Deontay Johnson 2.0.
6'4", 215 pounds. He's more, I think, like one of those raw type prospects. Kind of like last year's Jonathan Mingo, I guess.
That's fair.
Okay.
The one I kind of wouldn't mind is getting Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice.
I saw him in like the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
He actually looked pretty decent.
Uh-huh.
I'd be,
Yeah, he's not bad at all.
Ricky Pearsall from Florida. I don't know too much about him, but I mean, there are like even just down here scrolling, there's names.
mhm.
And I don't really know too much about college football, but from a lot of the crap I watch on YouTube and all the prospect reports and everything else, it's super deep class. Super deep.
I mean, you can even probably find somebody towards the bottom there that'll be
That's
like
what
another
that's a
Puka
check.
Nacua. Like you can
Puka.
definitely see.
Gotta love some
The
Puka.
draft is coming soon.
Yeah,
Couple
2 weeks. Or
It's like
the end of
3 weeks.
like 3 weeks, yeah. At the
It's
end
the
of the
very
month.
end of April actually, so
Yeah.
it's probably closer to a month now. But
The 28th. I requested the day off too, so I'm gonna be watching the draft. All happy
Coming
because
up.
I don't have to work that night. All right,
gonna
so
have
let's move on from the Steelers. We were talking a lot of Steelers there for who was second to last year? Brother, huh?
as far as overall record, I think. Yeah, I think he is the. Actually, no, I think it was. Yeah, it was him.
All right, previous leagues. Where's Nope. Here we go, standings. Okay. No, technically, as far as standings goes, Melissa's team was last. But the draft order is what we're talking about. So yeah, your brother actually would be second to last technically still, and then Dave would have been 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one that baffled me, honestly. Some of those games with her, because were
I mean, as far as like, I
yeah,
think she has a
like
better team right now as like an overall team that can win right now. But I think she had some really bad luck
she
last
did. Like
season where
just
she
look
ended
at
up.
the week 2, week
sh-
3. She
Look
had
at
two people
her.
put up 170 points against her.
Yeah, look at her
Like you don't win
overall
against that.
last year. Points against last year, she
She
was
lost to your
the
brother by
worst.
point, like by less than a point.
Yeah, I think I beat her by a couple points too. Like I think she had a lot
Got
of close
crushed by
games that she
me,
lost.
156 to 90 something.
Yeah, like she had the worst points against, and which is
Yeah,
basically the
143 lost to Zach, who scored 159. There was only one other person who scored higher, and that was Tommy. Oh, and Ham
yeah.
by 3. But yeah, she was definitely did not have the worst team.
No, she was
A lot
actually
of
like I
bad
think
luck.
if
Like, see, right here, another one, 154 to 160. Like, yeah,
yeah,
any other
honestly,
team, she would have beat them, except for
if
Jeremiah that
you
1 week.
if you rerun that, I think she's in the playoffs.
Yeah, easily,
Like
easily,
that's basic
easily,
luck. Yeah.
easily. Yeah, it's honestly crazy. Like, just going back, like, it still baffles me. Because
But
all I
no,
could think, like, the whole time, like, how the hell is she still losing?
hmm
Like, yeah, she was putting
now
up, like, mad points and still lose. Like, Dan, like, that was basically Dan. He had the week that had the week that she was having before. Like, she had to put up 163 points just to beat Dan's 154. Like, shit.
yeah, she was. It was
Yeah.
taking like fire from everybody. Plus, now it's no longer her team. It's actually
Nathan's.
Nathan's.
Yeah. And that's definitely this is a contender. This is key. This is a contender right here. Just
He's definitely.
Burrow, Lawrence, Devonta, Addison. Well, we'll see how Addison does with the new quarterback at the helm. But still has Dobbs. Still has Steven. Oh, that's my alarm. Sorry about that. Yeah, it still has pieces to trade. He could easily trade Stevenson, Ford, Spears, Cooks.
He ain't trading Spears. I already tried. He ain't trading Spears.
Well, he don't. Oh, he don't want to trade Spears. Well, as far as he still has Henry, I think, up
Like
for trade on the trade
Spears.
block.
Yeah, I mean Henry's on Baltimore now, so Spears is just a guy he
He
is
likes.
probably gonna end up breaking out. Yeah, even though they got Tony Pollard, I think Spears still sees
He'll
a high
see.
share of the touches this year.
Yeah, I think so too. What do you think about that situation, Dan? You have Tony Pollard actually, so
I do have Tony Pollard. I need. I think that he might benefit from somewhere else new. He might be able to benefit from having that split back now. I know that he was really efficient whenever Ezekiel Elliott was the feature back, and as soon as he became the feature back, kind of took a different turn. So as long as he's splitting carries, I'm excited for him. I think that he'll do a lot better in Tennessee than he had last year.
Yeah, I'm looking at Spears' actual snap share, and
Mhm.
he was on the field at least 50% of the snaps 5 of the last 6 weeks, even as high as like 67, 66%. So honestly, like even though Henry was producing, Spears was out up there, still getting carries, still getting touches. Big back out of the backfield to like receive and everything too.
Which is
So
why I think he'll benefit more. Like it's great
which I
all
think
around.
that helps him and Pollard because I think
Mhm.
Pollard isn't like gonna be the guy, which is gonna help him because he wasn't the guy in Dallas when Elliott was there. But you saw him still be like a top 10 back, even in like a quote unquote backup role. But yeah, I think Tajay's gonna have that same number. Like the only week you actually dipped was it was the last game of the season. It was kind of Henry's swan song. So in Tennessee,
oh yeah, his final game there. Yeah, you
yeah.
got to. You gotta give that to him.
Even
I
then,
kind
Spears
of
had
agree
20.
though with
Spears still
the.
had 21 points. He had 3 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown with that. So
Yeah, his
yeah, I
was
think
towards he flashed towards the end of the season, the 12, 17, 11, 21. I mean, he had a good game at the beginning of the year with the 16, but other than that, it's like 6, 4, 8, 10. Nothing really too crazy. He started to get more consistent and break out a little more towards the end.
yeah, that's why I think like Tennessee has low key the one of the better backfields
Yeah,
in the league right now.
and I agree with some of what Dan was saying with the splitting of Pollard, like kind of like how it was with Elliott. Obviously, it's not going to be the same because Spears is not the same back as Elliott, but just splitting carries, I think, will help him,
Exactly.
and he'll be a lot. He'll be more healthy too because he definitely was banged up last year in the beginning of last year.
And I mean, people are really dissing Pollard, but he honestly wasn't that terrible. He
Yeah.
was ranked 14th among backs. That's still
Still
RB2,
solid.
which like still you're getting something out of him. Like it's honestly better than a lot of situations like
Well, I
what we
think
have here,
James
like
Cook wasn't
Rodgers.
even that. I have James Cook. I don't think he was very much farther ahead. 12. So really,
He
if you
was
think
12.
about it,
Yeah,
he really didn't do too much better than Pollard did.
yeah.
And I
That's coming off a year where he tore his ACL, right? He tore his
he
ACL in the
had
playoffs
something
2 years ago.
something with his leg, or there was something
Yeah,
broken
he had a
something.
broken foot. It was something torn or broken, but
Did they say it on
yeah,
here? They give a little latest news thing, but it's not much else than that little clip right there.
yeah. But I know he
Something.
got hurt, and I think the San Francisco game 2 years ago in the playoffs.
Yes, and
Is
then
when
he
he
had to deal with it all offseason, and then he was still dealing with it in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so I don't think he was 100% most of the year at that point.
And he still was putting up decent points.
Hmm.
I think he'll
Yeah.
be fine. I think
He
he'll be
just wasn't
fine.
pulling out the double digits every week.
Yeah.
And if he was, it was on the lower end.
Like, so he's getting your RB2 numbers, which you didn't really draft. I mean, you probably drafted him a little bit higher
Mm.
than an RB2, but still, it wasn't like having like an Austin Eckler or somebody completely drop off, and because I definitely know that situation. So
It's kind of an early question, but where do you think where was Tony Pollard going last year in redraft?
he was going top. He's one of the top 5 backs,
I'd
honestly.
probably say what, third, probably didn't escape the third round. Fourth round
Yeah.
definitely didn't escape.
Oh no, last year
Yeah,
he
last
was
year, like when
taken.
when he became the guy there without Elliott the
Ham
first year.
Ham took him in when either the very end of the first round or the early second, because he had
Early
those
second.
back-to-back picks. Yeah, he
I think
definitely
that's
took him
probably
there.
I think you might be right about that.
Yeah,
So yeah, he didn't even escape the second. Probably didn't escape the second in a lot of redraft leagues. So where do you probably figure he goes now? Probably fourth, third.
he probably dips a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, he
I
lives in
still
the
think it's
third,
good.
nowhere past the fifth.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
couldn't say yeah. The fifth,
because
that would be a little far, honestly, in my opinion.
I think both him and Spears are so like top 20 backs easy this season.
Yeah, if you can get a top 15 performance from Tony Pollard,
That's
yeah,
a lot. Say
the
a lot. Yeah.
a third or a fourth, I think would suffice for that.
Yeah.
Like personally, I would take him. I mean, I'd probably take him a little bit later because
I
there is
probably
some
would
risk
too.
there.
Yeah,
It may be like probably take him in like the 5th round if I
Yeah.
already have like
early
D-backs
fifth.
and like a low risk high reward kind of situation. So
Earliest I'd go would probably be fourth. Latest fifth would be probably the magical. You'd hope he'd still be there at the fifth round because that'd be
at that point, you're definitely taking him.
yeah. Like you and Dan said, fifth round, you definitely take him. Don't let him escape the fifth round for sure. Earliest for me, fourth. Yeah, I think that'd probably be the earliest I'd go for him. Because, like you said, risk. Who else we got here? Njoku, he was coming off a breakout season. This dude
I
lit
like
it
his
up at
haircut,
the
to
end of
be
this.
honest with you.
Look at that. That was a lot with Joe Flacco, though. Do you think Njoku is a top 10 tight end this upcoming season?
I mean, the Joe
Right?
Flacco. I mean, the Joe Flacco effect really is a weird one.
It was a
I really
thing.
don't think Amari Cooper should have dropped 55 on me in
Amari
the
Cooper did that to me
quarterfinals
too,
in another
bro.
league.
That's me too. In the playoff game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no reason why he should have dropped 55 on my head, but he did, and it was
Yeah.
okay in a different league. But yeah, I think if Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback, then Njoku is probably a top 10 tight end.
Yeah, well, what's the
Um,
likelihood in your eyes of that actually being the case?
I don't think that's going to be. It's less likely than likely. I think Deshaun Watson is more. He's talented. I mean, we've seen that in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually an athletic freak. But if he wants to be, and I don't think that he wants to be, especially now that he was guaranteed all that money. Now that you're guaranteed, it doesn't matter. You
Yeah,
have no ambition.
he could basically say he can F off and not have a care in the world. Go touch up massage parlor ladies.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's probably thinking. Well, doesn't really matter now.
What do you think, Brown? You think the Joker gonna
uh,
be a top 10?
yeah, top 10
Yeah.
definitely. I think like with Dan said, like if Deshaun Watson actually comes and like becomes the player he was like supposed to be, I think he's even a top 5 tight end. Like I'm looking at his targets. Like he got the ball, man. He had 15 targets in week 11 against us, Pittsburgh. He had 14 targets. That's what DTR throwing him with the football, by the way. He had 14 targets against Chicago, 10 catches. That's like one of his better games that season. Um, and he was consistently getting at least 6, 7 targets, if not definitely more at a lot of points during the season. But I think, yeah, just is Deshaun Watson going to be the guy getting in the ball, which is still like those first 4 weeks. You can see when Deshaun was playing, he wasn't getting the ball as much, but I still see him
Yeah,
being
4, 6, 6, 10, which he had 7 targets in the one game. But even after the bye week, still 4, like, he was not really putting up points until week 8.
Yeah, like I still think, especially that he performed the way he performed towards the end of the season, I think he's gonna be
Gives him a bit more
definitely looked
cred.
at a lot more. Yeah, I mean,
Gotcha.
you still got Cooper, you still got Nick Chubb, you still got uh, you got Jerry Judy there now, so
And
a couple more mouths to feed, but
he's the dude who went in and fought a fire or something, wasn't he? Didn't he have like his face all burnt up?
I think he fell. I think he fell in a fire. Yeah, it
There's
was he
something
hit his
crazy
face.
like that.
But he took it like a badass though. He like came in wearing a mask.
Yeah, that shit was hard.
I think
That
he
was hard,
won that
dude.
week too. He's a different person, which honestly that makes it even more eager. I think as far as where I would take him, I would probably take him like in a redraft league as one of my top 5 tight ends. Honestly, like I think you got Laporta, Kelsey,
Ooh, a top 5, you say?
Kincaid, and honestly after that, I think Njoku kind of falls in that second grouping.
Talent wise, yes. Really just
Yeah,
depends on quarterback play.
exactly.
All right, let's see. Let's see what it says here. I don't know. Oh, I might. Will I get in trouble for clicking on that? The New York Post. I don't know if that's a.
You get canceled.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a good idea. So I'm just gonna get out of that. And I'll look at it on my phone. Hee hee. Yeah, he did look
Yeah.
like a badass, and that's you normally don't like to talk good about Browns players, being a Steeler fan, but yeah, that dude looked like a badass.
I mean, real recognizes real. He's the sixth ranked tight end with a bunch
Haircut,
of
I'm telling
backups
you.
last season.
As soon as you put
Yeah,
that mask on, dude, he's like, "Yup, let's go."
he's a badass. But yeah, like I said, sixth ranked tight end with a bunch of backups thrown at him. I think he'll be definitely top 10. I think you definitely are starting him most weeks, unless you have another dynamic tight end you end up getting starting with them. But I think he's
That's
definitely in that top 10 tier. I mean, if you say he's a top 5 tight end, I'd probably agree with you.
yeah. See, even last year, just 2020, 2020 was his first. Well, 2018 he was ranked 9th. But it seems like in these other seasons, I'd assume that injuries played a big part. Oh no, he just was not getting the ball much.
It depends on quarterback play.
Yeah, and they were not good at all. Like, well, that was after they. Because when was the first year they signed Watson? 2021? Or was that 2022?
2022 because he still sat out. He still
Yeah,
sat out
Baker
like
Mayfield's only been gone for what, 2 years?
Yeah, was
yeah.
Baker the quarterback for them in 2021? Or was
Yes.
that somebody else? Yeah, maybe Baker was just not throwing to tight ends. I don't know.
Baker wasn't 21. Yeah, yeah. Baker
Dang.
like he honestly wasn't. Yeah,
Because
he wasn't much
23rd,
of a.
48th, like he broke into the top 10, like I said, yeah, once in 2018, and then 2022 he was 10th in PPR, and then 6th this year. So I mean, yeah, as long as has decent quarterback play that's willing to throw him the ball, he should easily get top 10. It seems like. All
I'm
right,
honestly happy for Baker Mayfield the more that we're talking about this.
right though.
Because that man literally went from a really garbage situation and they traded him anyway,
I
even though he
feel
was the
that.
only one that did anything.
I
And now
feel
he got
that.
rewarded.
Yep, he did. Honestly, I feel that 100%. Everything you just said, Because, yeah, he got screwed by them, man. What was it, OBJ's dad or something, like, talking shit about him?
Yeah.
And all that, saying, like, they weren't anything before he got there. They won a playoff game against the Steelers. It was looking great for them, and then all of a sudden, just down the toilet.
Agreed.
Especially how bad of a franchise the Browns are. Like, for all the
Exactly.
Brown fans out there that are
Yep. Mm-hmm.
gonna be listening to that, like, I'm sorry,
It's true.
but you have your management is awful.
Ass.
The fact that you had a playoff team 3 years ago that literally, like, you still have remnants of that, but you had a guy in Baker that could, win you games, and you treated him terribly, and then he signed a guy who literally got suspended.
And
And
it really seemed like it was the fans, too. Like, it wasn't just, like, people on the team. It did seem like it was the fans, too. I mean, I don't know the extent of it, but...
yeah, and like I
When
wouldn't
they
even
let
gonna say, like,
Baker go, when they let Baker go, not only did they do the team wrong, like they did their fan base absolutely wrong.
That's what I don't recall. Like, I know there was some, like, I don't know the majority or the minority of people being happy about the Mayfield thing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they screwed him. Because who knows, the fans could have just been, like, you know how fans are. They get their shit all up in a bunch for a minute, and then they hate the quarterback. Next thing you know, they love him again. Like, Steelers fans have went through
just
that,
used
how,
to
like,
that
the last 2
because
seasons.
they've
Like, yeah, we love you all, we hate you. Yeah, we love you all, we hate you.
honestly, what else do you expect? They've been going through like 20 some quarterbacks over the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Like,
so
they haven't known anybody who can actually stay there. And right now, the only guy staying there doesn't give a crap because he's got guaranteed money for the
Yeah,
rest of his life. So
I would live
it's
in a
because
terrible city.
your management is like absolutely terrible.
yeah, that's
And
100% on them regard. Yeah.
I like Baker now, but like even then, like I didn't like love him as a person, but he based on like what I saw of him and everything like that,
They were a
he's a
better team.
competitor, man. He's a competitor, and that team wants to win. And the fact that you just let him go and try
He
to
was
put him
still
in a bad
young.
situation,
He's
like
still 20, 25 or 26 at the time because he's only 28.
yeah, like honestly, you deserve to be. And the Browns aren't, like I said, the Browns aren't even a bad team right now. They're just like they're
They're the
stuck with what
Browns.
they have. Yeah.
The Browns are going to do Brown things. Oh,
The
man.
only thing they ever did right in the past 5 years was continue to ride Nick Chubb.
Until he got his leg snapped in half. Oh my god, it's so messed up to say, but
I fully believe he'll come back and they'll still do the right thing by riding Nick Chubb.
It's like
oh man,
like I said, like
I'm
I
weak.
mean they're not in the bottom of the barrel like they were, but I feel like you could have had yourself an elite team by now if you just had kept Baker and put your resources toward different positions that are of need. Like I'm
Yeah, and they
sorry,
did have a good squad. Like it's kind of crazy. Like, yeah, yeah, it. There's not really much explanation, I guess, when it comes to the Browns.
it's the Browns being the Browns, man.
Yeah, it's pretty much about it. Cause I mean, Nick Chubb's been a beast. Like, like, why wouldn't they ride him? Like, he's been a beast for him. But it just proves how much like just everything else is for them is not good.
Literally not good.
Really not good.
Cause yeah, their
I mean,
offensive line for a long time is at least up until even I think last year was pretty decent. But they had a good offensive line with Joe Thomas for all them seasons. A great offensive line.
Yeah.
you know what happened? They even kind of got their answer last year to fixing their team, which was Joe Flacco. and they let him go.
Let him go. Oh
it's
man,
Because you could have
it's
just
it.
made
wow,
Deshaun
bro,
Watson the most expensive backup in the world.
it's wild. Yeah, and he's still not even on a team right now, huh? No, he did sign somewhere. I thought.
With the
He signed
Colts,
with
That's right,
Indianapolis.
the Colts.
He's backing up AR.
Joey Flacco.
What a legend.
Dude, he put up good fantasy points too. 17, 21, 19, 26, 23. It's crazy. I was 39 years old. And of course, the worst football he plays is when he was with the Jets.
Well, that's another. I mean, I think honestly, I think the Jets are gonna be competitive this year. I could see them being a playoff team if Rodgers is like honestly even like a shell of himself. Because even a shell of himself, Aaron Rodgers is better than anything they had at quarterback last year.
Dude, look at the
it's not
depth
that they
chart
need
right
a
now. It's just Joe
quarterback.
Flacco, number one.
It's not even the quarterback aspect. They need somebody that just knows how to win consistently
Mm-hmm.
and can do that a few times and maybe teach somebody on the coaching staff on how to win consistently for a few times, and maybe they'll have a better future.
Yeah, they're still kind of in that cycle of they have a top pick, they don't do anything with it. They have a top pick, don't do anything with it. They have a top pick, don't do anything with it.
They sure know how to build a freaking defense.
Yeah, their defense is pretty like as far as like I've been alive, they've had a solid defense because they're all them
Yep.
years with Rex and even after.
They just can't get it right at quarterback.
It really does seem like that. It's just the one
They
thing
got
they can't.
and they got weapons now. I mean, they got Brees Hall, got Garrett Wilson. You just added Mike Williams. Like I don't think that dude's got as long as he stays healthy and MetLife Stadium doesn't break his ankles again. Yep.
They're always able to they're always able to attract like a big free agent to their team, no matter if it's on offense or defense.
Yeah, it's New
They just
York. It's New York. It's
they
you
just
always gonna have
never
the.
yep. They just never had the quarterback.
Hey, you
They
got
did when they
A-Rod
had
though.
Brett Favre.
Yeah. I keep forgetting Brett Favre was a Jet.
They were
Yeah.
like somewhat decent, I think, with Brett, but they
Yeah,
weren't
but that's
really a
what they needed.
contender. All
Yeah.
right, Joey Flacco. So honestly, yeah, this is so we all agree. Not this is definitely not a losing team. Who else?
Nope.
So from there, we talked about Dave, your brother.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about Hayden too much actually.
Oh no, we didn't actually. I know I'm
Yeah,
looking at
we,
his
we, we
roster.
talked about him a little bit
We
last
talked
time,
about
but
Flacco and Minshew, the stash.
yeah, the stash.
Who does he got? Bijan, Jordan Love. He came on this year.
He was a top 5 quarterback last year.
The quarterbacks, they just don't
Fantasy
want
points.
to. They
They
don't
don't want
want
to
to
come up.
cooperate.
Yeah. Hayden was like thinking about trading Love too, and I almost bid on that, and then he started playing well, and he definitely wasn't gonna trade him at that point.
Yeah, your time to get him would have been when.
He was struggling a little bit there the first
Yep.
couple weeks.
Yep.
Let's go to that. Hold on. I think this way's better. Blow. Yeah, workaround, baby. But yeah, he had a good start and then he fell off real sick. Because I had him in redraft. And yeah, he fell off those few games here. And then all of a sudden he started coming back again. Finished QB5. It's
There he
pretty
is.
good.
He was definitely a steal. I think Hayden did well in drafting him.
Let's go back to his team here. All right. Yeah, he pretty much has most of the people he drafted besides trading away a few people. His starting lineup, I'm pretty sure, is all except for Kendra. I think his entire starting lineup's people. No, Pacheco as well. My bad.
Yeah, he did trade
He
he
moved
did trade a
Kenneth.
pick for Downs and Dell. He didn't have Downs and Dell.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he traded him to Will for. I think it was the first, honestly.
Oh, you know what? I think you might be right.
Which Downs had an
Yep,
okay
right
year,
here. Downs.
but
Yeah, hey, wait, hold up. He got Downs and Dell, and he gave away Geno Smith.
oh, that was it. Yeah, you and Geno Smith. That was
Dude, he robbed Willie.
yeah, but then Will got like a first
Woo!
round pick.
Dang, bro.
So really, I think we'll end up getting a first round pick anyway. So
He didn't trade
but still,
anything
that
else
trade
though.
there,
If this is just
yeah,
if this is just the trade right here.
I think Hayden made out really well there. Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit. Cause yeah, Downs is worth probably what? Early second, mid second right now, easily. Tank Dell's borderline like first round yeah, I don't think he would be his value is probably a first round pick right now, I would say. Late first.
Dell, yeah, Dell's
Yeah.
Dell's good.
So
He's
that's
gonna be
basically
right.
almost two firsts for Geno. Yeah,
Yeah.
whew, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Pretty
dang.
good.
That was
Downs had a little bit of injury trouble, so he wasn't the same player like in the second half of the season.
still, if you
And
think
then,
about it, like well, yeah, Tank Dell too. He was another one. Why does it keep doing that? Dang it. Where'd you go? Yeah, but Tank Dell was another one. He got injured as well.
mhm.
Did Downs
Yeah,
get injured?
What an actual tank.
Oh no,
Downs
Downs didn't get injured. He just
well, he was
he
hurt.
did
Like
better with
he got
Anthony
hurt.
Richardson.
Yeah, I remember because I had him in my redraft league. I had him in Dell in a redraft league. My brother had him in Dynasty, and I started Downs, and there were 2 weeks there he played like 3 snaps, had the one catch, and then he hurt his I think he hurt his knee. So there was a time there where he actually was hurt, but it shows him as actually playing because he only played like the first few
Yeah, see, it's shown
places.
right here in fantasy. His first few weeks, he had 6, 7, 13, 5, 15, 13, 23, 14, then 2, 6, 9, 4, 6, 4, 9, 7. Like the second half of the season, he drastically fell off the map.
Hmm.
So maybe he was banged up and he was just playing, or it was I don't know. I'm not too sure about the situation there, but if I had to assume, it was just because it was a different quarterback. Because I'm assuming that most of the time that was probably Minshew right there.
Yeah.
And who is the other player? Dell. Tank. He got injured, I think. Yeah, okay, right here. Week 13. Other than that, I mean, he put up mad points, multiple 20-point games. Yeah. 165 pounds, though. Holy crap.
That dude is skinny.
Yeah.
But he's fast, and like I just saw him, like he's
good.
he's a real deal. That dude was on his way to being like a top 20 receiver
Mm-hmm.
last year.
Oh, yeah,
And that's
for sure.
that's with Nico Collins and that wide receiver core that they had.
Yeah, which is crazy because it was such a turnaround for that Houston team, if you really think about it. Like because
They
they already had Nico and he showed flashes, but he just didn't. It was another situation like the Jets, and they didn't have a quarterback. Then they draft
yeah.
Stroud. They draft I think Dell was Stroud's dude. I think if I recall, they were saying Stroud wanted Dell.
Hmm.
So you've got him. Then you have Dalton Schultz, tight end. Their running game wasn't the greatest, but they still did good without that. So if you have Joe Mixon, if I recall. If that running game picks it up, they could be really dangerous.
You get still got Damian Pierce. They had Singletary last year who actually did well.
Yeah, he did
Um,
fairly well. He did decent.
yeah, Damian Pierce did fell off from the year
Yes.
before.
Oh yeah, Dan has him.
Yes,
He'd
he
know all
did.
about that.
So yeah, you got.
Yeah, I'm
But now you have
suffering.
Mixon there. He's still coming out of his prime, but he's still definitely a very, very good running back. I think Cincinnati did him a little bit dirty. I thought they purely cut him. It looks like they actually traded him to Houston. So
Yeah, Joe Mixon.
yeah,
Yeah, I think he still had another year on his contract or something like that. Yeah, Pierce, I mean, it looked like he started to get a little better here, like around Jacksonville, and but I don't know if he got injured like here because he did fall off and didn't play, and he just really didn't get a chance after that because Singletary was doing decent.
I
But
also think he fits the system well. Like he's more of just like a bull mover back, and really your
who, Pierce or
offense,
Singletary?
yeah, Pierce, and your offense is based more on pass catching and kind of being a little more dynamic that way. And he was more of just like a rough and tumble. Like he'd be great in our system for Pittsburgh, but I just think the system he's in right now, when it changed over once they got Stroud, didn't work well for him. Still think he's a pretty good back, just not the not the right fit right now in Houston.
And probably not the guy we all thought he was gonna be.
Yeah, because he was taken pretty early in a lot of drafts.
Oh,
Like
like I
third.
said before, I offered Dan early on Nico straight up for Pierce. Like that was a
Yeah.
legit offer I sent him, and
Yeah, I should have
luckily
just
he
took
didn't
that.
take it. Luckily,
I should have.
yo, yeah, dude, I traded. Oh fuck, man, I'd be so hurt about that.
I was
Woo.
sad.
Yeah, I'm I'm happy about that one. Sorry.
Yeah, you say you just didn't shoot yourself in the foot.
We've all been there though. We've all declined trades, and really we
Yep.
should have accepted it. I've been there.
You never know until it happens. So
Yeah, exactly. It's all hindsight because yeah, Pierce could have ended up having a good season, and Nico could have just had an average season or some shit.
Maybe Damian Pierce will run for 6 million yards this
6 million.
year.
I think that's a record.
Just jumps over the entire line, over the entire field, and right into the end zone every single time.
100+ touchdowns a game.
A game.
Madden on rookie mode.
Those games were fun to play.
Okay. So who else has he got worth chit-chatting about here? And what the heck, Moss? Yeah, he was so looking forward to Chase Brown being the number one there.
He just rode my ass on Mixon. Like he was like, dude, I can't wait for Mixon to get hurt or not play well,
Uh-huh.
so Chase Brown can take over. And what happens? Mixon's a top friggin' 5 running back, and I think Hayden's butthurt because Mixon didn't do like crazy good for him when he had him in like the redraft and everything like that because he kept
Mm-hmm.
drafting him year after year. And the fact that I actually ended up doing really well with him, then I think he ended up wanting to trade for him. But then once he got traded, Hayden was so happy, and then Moss ended up going to Cincinnati anyway.
Oh yeah,
So
that happiness quickly faded away.
yeah,
But
I
they're still
I
gonna share the backfield.
I like Chase Brown. I think he's gonna
Yeah, he'll be
he's gonna
fine.
be a dynamic threat there. Honestly, he might even take over that backfield. So
Yeah, I mean, you
Hayden,
never know. He could end up being the 1A instead of the 1B.
yeah, because he was drafted pretty high last year in the draft. So I think he's gonna.
Any
I think
thoughts
he's
on
gonna
any
be a
thoughts
future guy.
on Chase Brown, Zach Moss, Dan?
I think that Zach Moss and Chase Brown are going to be a very good 1-2 punch. Regardless of which one takes over the backfield, like you said. I think they'll benefit off each other. And I think that they're both sneaky good. It's going to be like David Montgomery Jahmyr Gibbs light. It's not going
Okay.
to quite be as explosive, but I
I-
think it's going to be productive.
I kind of like that. I like that comparison. Yeah, because Zach Moss, he's a good running back. I mean, he proved that with the Indianapolis Colts. Chase
Yeah,
Brown, he showed
the offense that
flashes.
they're in is not bad. It's going to be
Yes, being the
an
Bengals as
offense
well.
led by Joe
Yes.
Burrow.
Like you said, the offense, Zach Moss fits. Brown, it's a good fit.
Yep.
Okay.
Something sneaky there. He has Isaiah Likely. I really like him as like Baltimore's future tight end.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 23. I don't know
I hate
why I
him.
always kept thinking he was older than that.
That dude dropped a touchdown pass. Well, no, he didn't drop a touchdown pass. He couldn't get one more yard for a touchdown for me for like 800. I wanted to cut his hands off.
That's how I feel about Swift coming up short in the playoff game.
Oh,
Just
man.
get your ass in the end zone.
I do think that he's very good next to Mark Andrews, though. He's very productive. Um, he's a big body. And honestly, running both him and Mark Andrews might be a nightmare this year
Yep.
with Derrick Henry.
Which I think that's probably what they're going to do. It seems that way because they got rid of OBJ, so now you have Zay Flowers, and then you'll have Andrews likely, Henry, and because I mean, who else at wide receiver do they have? I think
Rashad Bateman.
yeah, Bateman, Aguilar, which Aguilar's all right, but
He's a veteran.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, oh, and they signed Dalvin Cook. When the frick did that happen?
That was late last year. They ended,
What? Nah, this had to have just happened.
No, they had him like late last year. They
You
just never.
sure?
Yeah, I can remember playing like Madden. He was still on the roster toward the end of the season last year.
Cook latched on. Oh yeah, that's crazy. When the? Oh wow.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I disappeared on that one. I just.
Yeah. Well, he kind of disappeared. So
Yeah, true.
that man was a league winner a few years ago, and now
yeah, just like a year or two
fell
ago.
off the face of the earth.
Woo, Mike falling down. Don't do that. Stay put. All right. But yeah, just a year or two ago, league winner. It's crazy. Yeah, actually, here, let's take a look at that. Yeah, 2022, he was putting up 20-point games. 26, 25, 23, 27. He was injured quite a bit there, but still, when he came back in, 20 points.
Wait, he's on Baltimore now? I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
that's right. Yeah, look at him. He's later. He's like me. Like, when the hell did that happen?
Oh, well, I guess I got him. I guess I got Derrick Henry whenever he's hurt for 2 games. Back up.
Well, they still got Actually, they don't have Dobbins anymore.
No, and then Gus Edwards is in LA. So
Yeah. So yeah, I guess they have his backup.
Yeah, that's hilarious. When did he get there?
Yeah, I think the Jets cut him, and he like signed with the.
Well, I recall him having like saying he wanted out of there because they weren't using him like they said they were.
Yeah, because I remember I had a bit of Kanda from Pitt on my taxi squad. And
Abanakanda.
I bet it got that's a great name.
Right, it really is though.
He ended up back in the Brees Hall toward the end of the season. So he moved up because I found out they just cut Michael Carter and Dalvin Cook.
All right, so we can move on from this. We'd say Hayden, he's a contender this year for sure, especially with the 105, 107.
He's gonna continually get better. Plus, he has a bunch of draft picks.
Yeah, that's why with the 105, 107, he's got, and he actually wants to trade me that. He was trying to he wants to move up to the 103. So that's entirely possible. I told him I'm not against it.
I think he really wants a top quarterback.
He does. I think so too. He keeps saying about Jaden Daniels. He wants Jaden Daniels. I don't know if that's a ploy or not. I don't think it is, but I don't know. Right now, I'm waiting to see how the NFL draft unfolds before I even think about trading the 103 away. Because if there's one of them goes to a spot I really like, I don't think I'm going to move out of the 103 and give it a chance for anybody else to steal the player, you know?
Right.
Rather
Yeah,
be
if you're,
safe.
At this point, you have an idea of who you want. And
Well, that's the thing. Like
then once you-
Daniels, like I could go either way. Like I could go Daniels, May, Neighbors. Like I don't think I rank Rome up there. I'll have to look at more Rome tape because I don't know why I just keep throwing Neighbors up there when a lot of people have Rome kind of like right there. I'll have to do a little more research, but if I go Rome, I could easily trade out of the 103 because Rome's not up there in a lot of people's eyes next to Neighbors. Like. At least not right there. Like you wouldn't put Neighbor or a Dunze ahead of Neighbors more times than not.
I wouldn't, but I can see how people would. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's more of
like
the prototype wide receiver.
but you'd figure that would probably be a move that would happen. Like if I did trade back to the 105, then if Neighbors and a Dunze were both there, then that would be something I'd consider then.
Yeah, like if you necessarily say like, hey, maybe I don't need a quarterback, but I can get an extra wide receiver or an extra weapon. Like that's where I can be like, yeah, I can trade back a little bit.
Well, and that's the thing. I could use a quarterback technically. So,
Yeah,
like, because I mean,
exactly.
I got screwed last year because I got screwed last year because I lost Burrow. My quarterback situation just was bad. I had Burrow. I traded away Burrow, and really, in hindsight, I should have freaking traded away Sam Howell when I had the chance, because then at least then I could probably got at least something for him, a first, something equivalent, without giving up Burrow. Which I'm happy because I still got St. Brown. I love St. Brown. Praise the sun. But yeah, last year this position screwed me, and yeah. So a quarterback, and you can't trust any. Like Darnold, yeah, he has a good chance to start. Who knows what's going on with Mace, Stidham? They said they like him. I think Broncos are going to draft a guy.
Yeah, I don't think they're. Stidham's been in the league a couple years too, right? Like he's not really
Who,
a
Stidham?
fresh guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's only been in the league for like I think a few years, and of course, what is up with quarterbacks? It seems like just do not want to work. Jared Stidham, here we go. Yeah, he was with the Raiders. He's 27. He was with the Raiders for quite a few years. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. Yeah, and he had a good decent two last games, and then Broncos signed him in 2023 to a 2-year contract.
It's weird though.
So
I like he's our guy.
I mean, if he gets any play, it'll probably be for like the first few games just to see if it can be a guy.
Yeah, or like if they do draft somebody. I'm not sure what pick they have or even if they have a pick in the first round.
Do you know, Dan, when the Broncos pick? I think it's like 10. Isn't it like 10 around 10 somewhere like that?
Let's see. They are 12.
12? Okay. So I mean, they could honestly probably just sit if they want to go like I mean, they could trade up for a McCarthy. Penix will probably be there.
Penix would be there, Bo Nix would be there.
Bo Nix, he's the one who was escaping me there. Do you think they draft one of those guys? Or what do you think? They trade up? Do you think they sit at 12 and maybe get a Bo Nix? Get a Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr.? Because I heard Michael Penix Jr. had a pretty good pro day.
I think that they just sit back and wait.
Sit back and wait at 12?
To trade up.
Do you
The
think
top 3 quarterbacks are going to be gone in the first 5 picks anyway.
Well,
so.
that's where McCarthy comes into play. If they want to trade up for McCarthy, They probably
I
would have
still
to.
don't think McCarthy makes it to where they would want to trade up. He's just going to be gone by then.
Okay, I got you. All right, what do you think, Brown?
Did you know Michael Penix actually can throw with both his arms? He can be a lefty and a righty. I think it's crazy.
Ambidextrous.
Yeah,
I
man.
think that's what they call that.
So, yeah. So he
That's alien-like.
it's very freaky. Like I saw him in this like the pro day or what was it draft combine, and he was throwing like dimes as a righty, and I think he's actually a lefty. So
There's some high school kid. I don't know if he's from Florida. He's somewhere from South, but I was watching some TikTok videos of him, and he does like the same type of thing. He like throws like little out routes to like two people running at the same time. It's the craziest thing you'll see. I'm gonna see if I can find it and link it.
nice. But I think they can take it. Like I can see him taking a chance on Phoenix, and then
Stuff
having
like that amazes me.
Yeah, I don't think they trade up either, honestly.
nah.
If they do, like Dan was kind of saying, they don't trade up that far. Like if they feel like they need to trade up a spot or two to snag Penix, then I see them doing that. Or even if McCarthy falls, they trade up like to the number 10, maybe at most 9. But yeah, I think they
If
would have to give
McCarthy
up.
drops to if McCarthy no, I still don't think that they would go after it.
What? What were you gonna say? Drop how far?
If McCarthy dropped to like 8, maybe trade
8?
up.
See, that's where I'm thinking like around 9. I think that's where I'm at. I think they'd be willing to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's we'll see about that one. But yeah, a lot of shaky QBs besides Murray on my squad. So, not exactly a great situation in that regard.
Yeah.
Who did I know there's somebody we didn't talk about at all. Did we talk about Jeremiah's team? I don't think we
Maybe a
did.
little bit. I think we touched on everybody a little bit last time, but we didn't go
Yeah, like
as
super detailed
forward
about it.
deep dive.
I don't know. Is there anybody really noteworthy? I think we did because Keenan Allen, I kind of remember talking a little bit about. Do you think Cordell Patterson just got signed to the Steelers not too many days ago. Do you think he breaks into any of Najee's or Jalen Warren's playtime?
No.
No,
I think
He
he's
was strictly
mainly
signed for kickoff returns.
I think
yeah.
so. Special teams, yeah.
Once they change that role for kickoffs,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Steelers
he was
signed him right
signed.
away. They're like,
he-
you're gonna sign this guy.
he'll be good for that. I really think so. I think that was a great signing by them.
I'm fine with it.
And I still really like Calvin Austin as our like punt return guy too. So I think Cordell Patterson's gonna be mainly like the special teams.
He'll probably
Got
be
the
that
guy.
kick returner guy, yeah.
Yeah. Plus he could also like you can throw him in like as a receiver too. Like he can like you saw him in both New England and Atlanta. He can be very versatile with how they play him as like either a receiver or a back. But I don't think he really like makes any impact fantasy wise.
No, I don't think so either. Nah, he'll probably be like he was right here, just doing a little bit of everything. Probably not
Yeah.
as much of a rusher. I could see him getting like a few touches a game.
A few. But
Yeah,
honestly,
like
I think
max
he
like
was
3, something like this, 3.
honestly you had
3.
Bijan and you had Tyler Algier. He had no reason to get in the football.
Yeah,
As
like
much as
they're like this right here, 10 carries, like that's a little ridiculous. 8 carries is a little ridiculous. 7. Like you shouldn't be giving him like any more than like 4 carries a game.
yeah, so I think he's mainly just gonna be the kickoff return guy and just be mixed in, like even like on some gadget plays or something like that, but nothing where he's gonna be seeing the field on offense way too much.
I agree. But yeah, it was worth exploring. I like the signing though. It's a good one. Yeah, nothing else too exciting about his team. He has a solid team. We'll see what Jackson Smith and Jigba can do if he can step up.
They did resign Lockett, so he's gonna still be
Oh, okay.
mixed into like the second, third wide receiver role with Metcalf. So he might be having a similar season to what he had his first year. Although I can see Lockett dropping off, which he already did. And him
Yeah,
kind of
he
taking
did do it a
wide
little bit
receiver
last year,
spot,
yeah.
and Lockett just being more of like a slot guy. So
I can agree. He's not really the type of production that you would expect out of him. Very wishy-washy last year.
Yeah, Lockett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Jackson Smith was 48th in PPR rankings. Do you think he breaks at least into the top 35? No, let's go top 30. Do you think he breaks into the top 30? Which probably isn't too much more, but still, top 30 wide receiver is not too bad. That's probably like what, a solid good like wide receiver 3, wide receiver 2, bottom wide receiver 2, I guess.
Top 30 would probably be like wide receiver 2, top tier.
yeah, I can see it. I mean, especially like I said, if he kind of takes over that wide receiver 2 role in Seattle, like he can be that. I do think though it's gonna be like I can see him like in the 30s, like a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4.
I
It's
just
like
don't
something.
see the quarterback play making him be able to do that.
What, step go up that high? Like take a major step?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like that's going to be his biggest obstacle.
I feel that. Well, and like you said too, just like Lockett being there and being a presence kind of doesn't really help the situation either, because if he does take that number 2 and they kick Lockett back even more, then I could see him taking a little bit of a step. But at the same time, like you were saying, the quarterback. So how much of a step can he actually take?
Yeah, like if you had him in there with like a Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, I think he's easily a top 30 receiver.
And you
But I
have
think with
Metcalf
Jimmy
there.
back there, and you have Metcalf, and then
Yeah.
I mean Lockett still ain't no slouch. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but like so, like, based on like the low ceiling you have with the quarterback, it's gonna be something. I definitely wouldn't in redraft. I wouldn't be taking him very high. Still,
Yeah, I
like
don't
I
think so
like
either.
he's a nice guy to maybe put on your bench. But as far as like dynasty, I would still hold on to him.
He might be a
For
guy like we were saying about Pollard, like 5th. He might be like 5th, 6th, maybe something like that.
I don't even think he goes. I wouldn't even draft him that high. I'll be waiting until maybe into like the 10th round to take him, just
Ooh.
because you just haven't seen that yet. I mean, it definitely is talented, but
I think
you
that's
really,
why he probably would see a little bit of earlier of a pick just because of that, you know?
mm,
Because everyone like, oh yeah, last year he was this, and then Lockett's another year older, and I could see people getting all about him again. Because from what I know, at least in Dynasty, he definitely hasn't lost too much value.
no, I still think he's very valuable in dynasty. Like I wouldn't be trading him for a bag of balls or anything like that.
Oh
But
no, definitely not.
like
Nah,
he's still worth even like a first round pick in dynasty.
yeah, that's I think his value like the 109. I'd probably say maybe like somewhere around there.
I think once he gets his chance to actually step up, he's gonna do it.
Because I did see some replay. Like he made some pretty good catches.
Yeah,
Looks
he had
like he could
nice
be a
catch
guy.
at the end of like he got the game winner against Philly
I think
last
that's what
season
I'm
when
recalling.
Drew Lock was
Yeah.
running the ball. Yeah, just kind of somebody you gotta be patient with right now.
All right. Well, I am going to step away for a second and let you guys talk because I had to. Yeah. But I'll be right back.
Gotcha. All right, Dan, how you feeling about your team this year?
Not bad. I need to get more quarterbacks and probably another starting running back or two. Get some depth in there. Might have to make a move on maybe possibly move Jamar Chase or Stephon Diggs to try to add a couple to fill those.
I gotcha.
What about you? How do you feel about your team?
I like it. I'm in the same boat. Definitely looking at it a little bit more depth at running back or quarterback. I only have a first round pick, a late first round, and a late fourth round. So I'm kind of like, let's just maybe take the best player available at this point. And then because I definitely just tried to go for it last year, almost pulled it off, made it to the finals, but like I like the depth I have at like receiver, so
Yeah.
that's good. I think just definitely shoring up. That's why I made that trade for like Derek Carr with Pratt is just making sure I have because I have Goff, I have Cousins, and then adding Carr in there as like a third guy.
Well,
Still got Bryce.
Cousins will be back this year, and he's good for 25 to 30 touchdowns. So
Yeah, that dude's like a he's been a QB1. Like him and Goff were like sneaky good the last couple years in fantasy. So
for
having
sure.
both of them, like that's why I kind of took my shots at like getting Jefferson, and I thought Eckler was going to be better than he was though, but still like I hit with Rashad White and Mixon. Um, I would say
Yeah,
I was
Rashad White
yeah,
in a league, and he is he's good.
he's great. Like I think especially if he's just constantly getting the work. Like it makes him a little more prone to injury, but I think he's gonna still be the workhorse for Tampa.
And
So
he's a pass catching back.
exactly. So and that dude kept getting in the end zone last year. I was like, this guy's I got him in like the sixth, seventh round too. That was a bit of a steal.
That ain't
So
bad at all.
and then the one thing I was thinking too, like I have Dallas Goddard, I have Kate Otten who did really well in the playoffs for Tampa. But I was thinking like if somehow Brock Bowers dropped into the late first round, maybe taking a shot on him. But otherwise, I'd probably go in like quarterback or running back at
That's
that
fair.
point. So
Brock Bowers, depending on the team he goes to, might be worth the risk.
exactly, because he's like pretty much the
Gronk.
next like yeah Gronk or Kittle are gonna be right there.
Yep.
I heard he was tiny.
Really?
Bowers, yeah.
I don't know.
Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, we were just kind of thinking like how we feel about our team, what needs we were looking at in the draft.
Yeah, they had a picture of him next to Gronk or someone actually, and he was like real small.
Yeah, but I think for him it's like gonna be more super like honestly freakishly athletic.
Yeah, he's more of a, yeah.
Freakishly athletic is.
He's gonna be like you're like more like a Laporta, like honestly probably better than Laporta. That's like a guy that's really athletic. He honestly built more like a bigger wide receiver than
Where
anything
he
else.
goes, I think, will play a huge part in how he does.
Mm,
What is there anybody from the draft that you guys really like? Like, maybe not like
I mean
Like,
for
not
me,
like the top three, like Caleb or Daniels, May, like someone else, like
are we talking just offensive or?
yeah, like someone we'd use in fantasy.
Um,
Like I know there's like the added like there's the two dudes from Texas.
yeah, I was gonna say Sam Hartnell is probably one of them that I would take.
What, the quarterback
Yeah,
from Notre Dame?
I think that's where he's from. Yeah, that's Sam
Sam
Hartman.
Sam Hartman, yeah, right here. Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
He kind of looks like Cam Rising.
I'm
Wow.
wondering where my guy where'd he go? Michael Pratt's gonna get drafted.
Ah, your brother.
My brother.
Mhm.
He's from Tulane. He's not bad. He's not a bad player. I looked at him a little bit. I don't think he'll go. He'll fall definitely behind Rattler. He'll probably be somewhere around like your guy Hardman, I think, in the draft. Jordan Travis. Rattler, he's one I'm interested to see where he goes. Where do you guys
I
think
was
he'll
about
end
to
up?
say, I like him. Like he's probably gonna be a middle round quarterback. Like somebody just looking for a young guy to
Like third, fourth round.
possibly. Yeah, I think he'll be taken probably like, after you get to like the Michael Penix, Bo Nixes, you'll end up landing on Rattler.
Because there is quite a drop off there. Like you figure after Penix. Like Penix, how much heat he gets. Actually, Bo Nix, I haven't heard too much. Like, I know you were saying that he could get drafted in the first round, but
I think he'll probably be like late first, early second.
I think so too. Penix, I
think once
think if
you
anybody gets that spot at like around the top in the top 10, I think it'll be Penix.
like like once they get to like Denver and that, like if you have anybody left after that, they're kind of maybe waiting to
Falling.
go until later on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Dan? Where do you think Nix goes?
Probably early second.
Early second. I kind of feel the late first, early second. What about Rattler? Where do you feel he goes? Third, fourth, something like that?
Yeah, probably the third, more or less the third and beyond.
But yeah, that's pretty much like the break. Oh yeah, you can even see it in the rankings there. It goes from like 168 to 297 and then 420. It just keeps jumping.
I mean, I do really like Jordan Travis though. Is it just because
He's
he
a
got
name
hurt?
I heard of for the
Yeah.
Steelers.
Like he's a guy
I
that I
liked him.
definitely like. If he ends up like falling into like our later rounds, like third or fourth round, like I could see somebody taking a shot at him.
I don't know
But
too
even
much
like
about him, but
Florida State, he got hurt last year,
okay.
so that's why Florida State really didn't make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The playoff is because he goes hurt, and they wanted a top school like Alabama to beat him up because they had a healthy team, which I think was absolute malarkey. But
All right, here's an interesting question for you guys. Who do you think the RB1 in this class is?
Probably
Because you can name quite a few different people here.
you said running back
Yeah, who do you think the RB1 is
for
I
who?
know a lot of
for this
for
class,
the
this draft class? Jonathan Brooks, Corum,
Oh,
Benson,
the
Allen,
that running back from Michigan.
yeah Corum.
Corum.
No,
Blake
there's
Corum
another.
and
There's actually two backs out of Michigan that are like
yeah, I mean they're
strong
both
guys.
sneakily like really good.
Yeah,
And then
who the heck is
Donovan
the other
Edwards.
guy? I know who you're talking about.
Donovan Edwards.
That's it.
Donovan Edwards too, yeah. And Jonathan Brooks, he
He
was
might be down here a
basically
bit though. I don't see him here.
yeah. Jonathan Brooks is the thing is really good too because he was Bijan's
He got
replacement,
injured though. That was his thing.
but he tore his ACL, so he
Yeah.
really isn't even expected to play until like halfway through the year this year.
Oh, yeah,
So that's
keep
why
saying
his
that.
stock definitely went down.
Yeah, that's why I feel a lot of these other players are stepping into the RB1 role because he did have that ACL tear. And
Mm,
he did good before he had it, but who's to say he can come into the league and it just be
be
fine.
fine.
A lot of
Like Blake
a lot
Corum,
of
I think is like the best like running back out of as far as like, but I think Brooks is like the more athletic
Mm-hmm.
dual threat, like catching out of the backfield and that kind of thing too. But
See,
for
but you
like
guys think Corum RB1?
Yeah, for
right now, I
sure.
think him Benson even is really good out of Florida State. But like I said, this year's kind of not the greatest year for running backs,
Mm-hmm.
even though you still have some guys that can come
It's
up.
a
Like
it's
I
a
would even
lot of decent like good ones, like not great, you know?
yeah, like Braylon Allen out of Wisconsin, Bucky Irving out of Notre Dame,
Yeah, I
Marshawn
mean,
Lord out of USC. Like guys that you're like basically they're like a lottery ticket at this point.
yeah,
You
like
take a hit
they're
on them.
yeah, solid to good, but not anything great. Like especially like
Yeah.
last year they had Gibbs, Robinson,
I'm sorry, Irving's not out of Notre Dame. It's Austin Estime. I think he's out of
Audric
Notre Dame.
Estime, yeah, right here. His thing's messing up. I don't
Dang it.
know what's up with that. It's
So
just
a
gonna
lot of
do
guys that you
something.
kind of just like you can just like take a chance on, like and then like those guys are gonna be taken in like the second, third, fourth rounds. I don't really
Yeah,
even
a
see,
lot of the running backs are gonna go.
like
If
I
it
feel
goes
like
at the end
Connor.
of first, I could see it, but that's if it goes any earlier than that, then someone's just making a mistake and drafting for
Yeah,
need.
plus I think you'll see like the who's gonna kind of be going where based on like what team that gets drafted. So like depending on who get like if Blake Corum gets drafted to where he can be a starter right away, I think he'll be like one of the top running back taken.
Yeah, the situation
Or
they go to, yeah, definitely will have a
yeah,
factor.
but if like you're going to be like the backup or third string somewhere in an already loaded backfield, like then your stock's gonna drop.
With running backs, that's definitely more so with a lot of the other positions situation.
Hmm.
Just have with how sketchy the running back situation in general is in the NFL. Like if they don't have like if you they don't have a good spot in a almost like a clear path to a prime role, it's hard to draft any of those dudes super high.
Yeah, especially if you don't know like if they're gonna really
Even
be
pan
anything.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, like Brooks, you would think without the tear, he was the
He would have been in
consensus
the
number one.
first. Yeah, he would have been
Because
the
because he wasn't Bijan talented, but he was gonna be like a Najee, kind of like a Najee going, like the hype that he had out when he got drafted by Pittsburgh. So definitely that kind of hype, maybe going like later first round. But honestly, I could not even see a running back being taken until the second or third round in the actual draft.
in the actual
And then
draft. Yeah, in the actual NFL draft. Yes, I agree.
yeah,
Probably pretty much actually the same with fantasy. Either way you look at it, pretty much they
yeah,
all start to
like
come off the board in second, third.
hmm
But all right. I think honestly, if I had to still pick, I think I probably would still throw Brooks up there. And that's just mainly going off the fact he probably is the more talented, like athletically, and was the more explosive one out of like kind of like these little grouping here. And the ACL thing isn't such a big deal anymore. It's still definitely a factor, but
yeah. As far as like pure explosiveness, I think it takes a hit. But if he could still be a
if they let
very
him recover and it goes through properly, he could easily just be back to where he was.
yeah,
But you still take
like
the risk. That's the thing.
yeah, like I can see him going to um like the Giants or something or somebody who doesn't have a back right now.
Yeah, I
That
just
kid can develop him well. So I think he like wherever he ends up, he's gonna be fine. It's just
six.
a matter of yeah,
Uh,
who's gonna be like. I feel like you're almost as much better off taking a shot on Braylon Allen as you are Brooks at this point.
yeah, and that's kind of where like at the same time I fall to where like the situation I feel ultimately will give me my RB1. Like you said, if Jonathan Brooks goes in, like if he does go to a situation where he doesn't need to be the guy and he could sit back for like a year or whatever, I might still have him as RB1. But if that happens along with like say Benson or someone goes to like Green Bay or some like good situation where you're like, yeah, that's a running team, you know he'll probably get some play. That he could easily just end up being my RB1.
Yeah. But really, any of these guys, like this depends on the situation. Because I don't think you're gonna have like a Bijan that's gonna.
Nah.
They're gonna be the consistent. Like, he's gonna start right off the bat.
I mean, tight ends, that's another kind of one that seems it has. Besides Bowers and Sanders, I don't really know too much about any of the other guys. Cade Stover's a guy I hear a little bit about. Ben Sinnott's a guy I hear a little bit about. But yeah, these are the two main guys I feel.
Yeah,
Hey,
really,
Sanders out of Texas, yeah, that's where he's from.
yeah. I think for tight ends, it's just gonna be like Bowers is just gonna be the guy because he's gonna give you that advantage at that position.
Actually, oh no, this is correct. Where do you think he goes in our draft?
Tell you what, I can see Will probably taking him with one of his picks. 'Cause I feel like Will's gonna probably take the best available at each position. So I can still see him taking Bowers. So he might end up with him.
Yeah,
If he
because he
drops,
has the 106. Oh yeah, at the 106 spot, he could easily snag him.
yeah. So even if he drops, I don't think he drops out of the first round. I think even I told Dan
Oh, he
while you were
won't.
away,
No way.
yeah, like I would probably take a shot at him just to have that advantage because I have a few decent tight ends, but they aren't Brock Bowers. So
I honestly don't see him falling past the 108. Where are you thinking, Dan? Because the 108 is Ham, if I'm not mistaken.
I was gonna say between 106 and 108.
That's kind of where I feel he's gonna fall to. If Willie doesn't grab him, unless Hayden trades out, he could easily grab him. I don't think his tight end situation is that like he has Likely and who was his starter?
it wasn't a Joku. It was I have to look it up.
Oh, Musgrave.
Yeah,
Which,
Musgrave
yeah,
and Likely
he could easily replace him. Like, yeah, he no way he falls past a 107 past Hayden if he's still there. I can't imagine he would let him go.
Yeah.
That's probably where he lands. And him snagging a good tight end would only help his team tremendously because then he wouldn't. If you could just plug him in and not worry about your tight end, that's money.
Mm. He hasn't
Agreed.
really talked about Bowers too much though, so I don't know if he might actually do that. But
What are you saying, Dan? Go ahead.
No, I just I agree with that statement.
And Brown, you were saying your brother didn't talk about him too much.
no, doesn't mean he won't take him. Like that boy changes his mind more than he tires on a car. But
I don't think
that
he's too worried about the 107 really though. So I think he plans on just keeping. He probably just figures he's probably gonna end up keeping that one.
yeah, like I can see him going quarterback if he has 3 picks: quarterback, wide receiver.
Well, he only has two first round picks. He has the 105,
That's it.
107.
Yeah, I think he goes quarterback, wide receiver. I don't
And
think
if he
takes
trades me the
Bowers.
103, he offered the 105, so we'd swap.
Yeah, and then at that point, he's definitely not taking.
And he'd still have the
Bowers.
107.
Yeah, so I think like Willie, I can see you possibly having a shot on at him. I
Yeah.
don't think Cam would, so I would say
I don't think I'd take Bow. I don't think I'd do that. Not unless I trade back even further. Unless someone like gives me an offer, like unless your brother like decides to give me a haul for like to trade me all the way back to the 107, you know, or something like that. Or if Willie wants to do that. But I can't imagine because at the 105, I don't know if I'd do that. Because at that point, you figure if I do trade back, I'll still probably either have May Daniels, or Neighbors, one of the three.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see him falling. I just don't think he's gonna fall out of the first round.
No, there's
think he
definitely
might
no way he does. No way.
No, because
No way.
even if he drops to me, I'm probably considering it. But I know it. I also need other positions right now, so it would be
Like if
He
he
prob-
goes to the Chargers, then I might actually consider him at the 105. Honestly, if he goes to the Chargers.
because he got Justin Herbert thrown.
Yeah, I mean that's a great situation.
Yeah, so I see him. I see him. I could definitely see Will taking him with one of his picks.
Yeah, the 106, the 104. I mean, if he feels like I don't know. I just
I think Will's been-
that 104 spot. I just think he drafts the best available, like you said.
Yeah, 'cause
he's
I
gonna
see him
do.
taking. I think he
And
has like the 10th or 11th, like the 10th pick. I think too.
he
Hold up.
traded away the 109 to Zach for Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
So he has the 102, the 104, the 106, and then I think he might have the 110. You might be right about that, the 110. Huh, let me double check there. Where you at, bud? The Aqua Dumps. Yeah, he does have the 110 as well.
Okay.
And that's
so I
his
can see-
pick. That was his.
Yeah, he has 4 picks in the first round. I can't see one of them being Bowers, especially if you're
Yeah.
taking a
No.
quarterback, a wide receiver, and probably another one of those positions.
Because, yeah, I mean, what else? At that point, he doesn't really need anything. So you figure if he drafts Harrison Jr. at 2, if I draft a quarterback or Neighbors, he just drafts the next available best quarterback.
Like my prediction, he goes. I'd say since Caleb's probably going number 1, he's taking Harrison.
Yeah,
Then
I think so too.
1-4, he's basically taking whoever you're not taking out of Daniels or May. And then
I agree.
I can see him 1-6 so that he doesn't risk it at 110, him taking Bowers.
I think, yep, bam, I agree.
And then
Yep.
1 it's kind of up in the air of if he's gonna
Yeah.
take, top running back or another top receiver, quarterback.
Because really, overall, like, he is, 2, 4, 6, 7th ranked Bowers. So that's pretty much where he would fall, right here.
Yeah, Will knows how to play this game. He's gonna be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, his team's going to be
For
ridiculous. I freaking hate him
many,
right
many
now.
years.
And he
Yeah.
drafts Marvin Harrison Jr. I hate that even more because I have Kyler Murray and I really want him.
And honestly, Will was literally changing his defense against me in the semifinals away from winning the whole thing because he had easily the most points in like that final week. So
Yeah, sometimes
He
you
was
just
right
get
there.
screwed.
then you add guys like Tyreek Hill.
That's why the
Josh
defense
Allen.
is something I kind of like considered getting rid of. Just because it seems like it's really random with the defense more so than anything.
Yeah.
And just to add like a flex spot, like to do like another flex to have like a tight end, running back, wide receiver.
Yeah. I can see that. I think that makes it.
Because it's just the
little
randomness
more.
of the defense. Like you don't know if they're gonna put up like negative like 5 or I don't think it goes that far in the sleeper. I think it just goes to 0.
Yeah.
And then,
it's hard
but
to
even so,
comprehend.
like it's really easy for for a defense to hit 0 points. It's not hard.
Yeah, it's hard to comprehend too because you can see, be like, oh, they only gave up, 13 points, didn't get any picks. Why do they only have 3 points?
That's what
Just
I'm
'cause they gave
saying.
up
That's
4 or
yes.
500 yards or something like that. and
It's weird.
got lucky. So I think not this year, but
No, it'd be
Even
something
start
we'd have to
next year.
implement next year. If we couldn't do that,
Ooh.
we couldn't rush that. We'd have to give everybody a year to plan for it because it'd be another flex spot. It wouldn't be a defense. So
Yeah,
you'd
but
need
the-
somebody to start that, and at least give people a year to figure out what they need to do if they want to require more draft picks or just go vets or do whatever.
yeah. So
Or even if you're just with someone like Willie who could just throw somebody in there and be like, "Oh, yeah, okay, you want? I could just put another stud in my starting lineup. Cool." uh, all right. What other? But yeah, this is pretty much. Well, where do you sit at, Brown? You're
I'm number 11.
number 11. All right, so number 8's Ham. No, yeah. Then Zach, then Willie, then you, then yeah, okay. So 108 is Ham. Who do we think Ham's gonna get? Where is he? He's got his running backs are definitely okay. Receivers, he could probably use them. Yeah. McCarthy, if he falls, I could definitely see him since he only has Tua and Jackson. I'd probably have to go receiver for him though, if I had to guess. Because he only has really Wilson. Godwin wasn't as good as he was.
Gordon was still respectable.
Yeah, only number 29 though. He definitely wasn't the Mike Evans is Baker's guy.
Yeah, I like him. I like Ayuk. Ayuk is.
Yeah.
Plus, we were talking before about who can be the Steelers wide receiver too. They were talking about like, because Ayuk was breaking some silence on Twitter or X. I'm sorry, and he was like tweeting Dwight Tomlin and everything. So people were starting to talk. I guess there was some type of talk going on about bringing Ayuk here, which I would thought it was would be unbelievable if Omar could actually pull that off.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's because it does say like, and I heard he wants to get traded.
Yeah,
But
I haven't heard anything since that. He's a stud, man.
I don't think the
He's
49ers are
really
going to
good.
want to get rid of him. I mean, he's under con. Why would you want to?
Exactly. Like, why would you want to give up a weapon like that?
You keep them.
Yeah,
For
heck
sure.
yeah. But all right. So let's look at potential receivers he could be fudging with. Remo Dunze, it's possible he falls. Yeah, Remo Dunze could be sitting there at the 108 for him.
Could be.
I could see him take a quarterback too.
Yeah, McCarthy. That's what I was thinking. McCarthy. Yeah, I'd put it between a Dunze and McCarthy. Because I mean, Bowers at that point, he'd probably, if he's gone, which, who is his tight end actually? Noah Fant. Yeah, I mean, if Bowers is there, tight end easily could be the pick for him. 111. Let's see. Where are you at, Brown? Oh yeah, tight end would definitely. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I was gonna say I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like falling asleep now.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna wrap it up. I was just gonna talk about this real quick and then finish up.
No, you're fine. I was just
Yeah.
letting you know.
Yeah, I kind of figured you were getting kind of quiet over there.
Yeah, I've just been up since 5:30.
And
Work's been crazy lately.
We've been on here for 2 hours, so it just hit 2:03. So
nice. That's good. That's good quality.
Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
But let me all right. So yeah, you take a look at Brownie's team. Receivers, I mean, yeah, you probably could use a receiver. Tight end, definitely. I think that'd probably be your best bet. You'd probably hope that he falls to you somehow, but I don't think that'd happen.
It's possible, yeah. Honestly, I think we got. Look, I mean, they look at my bench. How many receivers I actually end up still having? It's a little bit much. Like you look at.
And you kind of just have like guys, not really like anything special.
Yeah, but I still have Mike Williams on my injured reserve though. So.
Oh yeah, hiding down there along with Kirk Cousins. You actually have trade capital too if you think about it, because you have Carr. You could easily go and I mean you still have Young. Like you could get I mean you have trade pieces even if you wanted to get rid of people.
So like I need to kind of figure out my roster and probably end up dropping some guys, but
Yeah, I mean, but
so look out for that in the coming weeks.
what,
But
it'd probably be someone like Browning. Obviously, you're probably not going to want to keep him.
I
Conklin,
like Browning though.
probably. Yeah, but
Like
at this
if
point,
I can hold on to him one more year, and he played very well for Cincinnati.
because if you make your draft picks and everything else, and then you move Mike Williams, Kendrick Bourne, and Cousins up, you're going to have to drop how many
Yeah,
people along with the draft picks you have.
but I was thinking the guys on my taxi squad, there's a couple guys there I don't really want anymore. And I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe dropping even Bryce Young down there, having a rookie down there. So really, I'm just dropping maybe a couple dudes that I'm not like Burks. I wish I could have maybe gotten got rid of Burks or something.
He's
But
just
too
not.
late.
He probably holds no. You might be able to see if someone would take like if you could get like a third or something for him. I would at least before you drop him, maybe see if someone wants him. Like even if you just get a pick in the future, like a 2025 or 2026.
Get
You know,
something late.
just
Something for him.
push it forward, push the value forward, and then you hold the value.
2029.
Yeah.
When,
When shit
when,
gets
when we,
real.
when do we get into the 2027 draft picks, bro? Like, what are we doing?
I'm assuming those probably come up right at the those probably show up at the beginning of the season of the new year, like when we actually like go into the games and shit. Or it's even possible we get them after the rookie draft that they show up on our thing.
Sleeper just thinks that it's not going to last past 2026.
Say that. I'd hope it would. Dang, that would suck. I got all those picks in 2026.
It's so funny.
Dude, that would suck.
Yeah, I think we're
Nah, I
right.
think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, I mean, wide receiver probably would be a good option for you. Wide receiver,
receiver,
yeah,
probably. Although they're talking about Ridley like being like the guy in Tennessee.
yeah.
But
But you still like even. I mean, unless you just have like I don't think because McCarthy. I mean, you still have Young and Kirk Cousins. I mean, I don't really. You don't want to go that early on running back. I mean, I guess you could. The 111's not super early. Like if
Yeah,
yeah,
really, it's just kind of seeing like who is available. At that
yeah,
point.
yeah. And if it's a
'Cause
good spot, a running back would make sense there. I could see it.
like I could see like if Bowers drops, I'm like sure I can have like already
Oh
upgrade
yeah,
that position
hell yeah.
right away. Because Goddard he's respectable, but he's not anything special. I like Kate Otten on my bench, but he's still got something to prove. Also, he had a great
Yes,
playoff.
yes.
He did a great playoff.
Dano's got the 204. What are you saying? Finish up.
I was pretty much done. I was just
Okay.
saying like yeah, just pretty much looking at who's kind of left in the first round.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, figuring out who's there and what you can do.
Yeah.
But Dano, you have the 204. Sadly, you traded away your first round pick.
Hey, I'm okay. That might make me decent.
Wilson.
We'll find out.
I mean, you never know. But yeah, it's I mean, your team's not bad. It's not bad. You still the biggest one probably right now, maybe to see what Alexander Madison is, if he could potentially steal away some work from Zamir White. If I recall that's his name.
Back. I'm probably going to target a back in the draft.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably your best bet. I mean, you just don't have really any other running backs. Like, you have Cook and Pierce. Oh, and Algier, which, I mean, he's not someone you want to be thrown into a starting spot.
No. Not
And
at
Pollard, you could definitely, he's like we were saying before, RB2.
Yep. But I don't have an RB1 or depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Running back would definitely be probably the play for you. And I mean, that's where the running backs are going to start to go too, is that second round. So you definitely should at least get a top four of the running backs there.
Yeah, I'll get a crack at whoever I want, at least.
Because yeah, even if you like manage to get, yeah, like someone like one of these Brooks, Corum, Benson, Allen, I think you'd be solid with that.
Agreed.
Depending on the spot, of course. But yeah, I guess we could finish up. That's pretty much. Yeah, we don't have to talk too much. Anything else? And it is freaking almost midnight. Holy shit.
Yeah, we
Right.
went hard.
Well, we did start late as hell because I had all that problems and I couldn't start it because I tested it, and when the screen would shut off, the OBS would stop working, so I couldn't even just like let the screen go black and come back on,
Right.
you know, and just deal with it.
Wait.
But all right, you fellas have a good one.
Yeah, take it easy.
It was a
You
nice
too, man.
little chat.
All right, guys.
Peace.
Always fun. Bye.
Hell
Bye.
yeah. All right.